He believes that the current president inclusion can best help to restore normalcy at the border. So he's asking what is possible to include the former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf in the mediation effort. We're going to talk about that also on the program tonight. Let me again encourage you to share the live video. Share the video so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what's happening tonight on the nighttime heat. Let me try to welcome my panelist, David Benedictus Rasmus Nambwe. He's always here, on time. David, welcome to the program.
Good evening, Sabbath, and good evening to our many listeners and viewers. Good evening also to our newest legal mind on the show, Edwin Famule.
Okay, thank you,
I'd
Taba.
like to also say good evening to Moses.
Yes, thank you, Taba. Thank you for coming. Edwin, we missed you yesterday, but I'm sure you were swamped with a lot of engagements. At the LEC now, people are trying to ensure that the little current that we can generate in our country is shared evenly, but I don't know what is evenly. I'm sure that the job people are trying to do. But welcome to the program quickly.
Thank you, Sabah. And, like I said the other time, now I'll be coming in intermittently on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. Yes, some of the issues have to be work related. Some have to be getting prepared for the bar exam. So basically, once you don't see me on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm either, caught between time.
Yes.
But again, I'm glad to be here as always. I want to say good evening to my brother, David, and also to Brother Kennedy, Brother Sandy. I'm glad to be here again, once again.
All right. Thank you very much for coming tonight, Edwin Famule. Moses, welcome to the program. Moses Sandy, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Do you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's good to be back. And let me quickly say hi to Mr. Tagman, Mr. Famole, and our technical crew. And the many people who continue to follow us regularly. I want to say it's a pleasure to be back. And thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
All right, Moses, thank you for coming. And so, listeners and viewers, kindly share the show. We wanted to share tonight's edition, as always. Kindly share the show because we have lots of interesting discussion coming up tonight on your radio, on your phone as well. We wanted to share the show because we are streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5, and also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Just tap Nighttime Heat, and of course, you're going to follow the show online, either on your Facebook or either on your YouTube, and then you enjoy the show. The show always is enjoyable. But gentlemen, let me ask, Tabwa, before you could claim the stairs, what's been popping up on your mind?
Well, I'm enjoying the debate. The debate about the latest appointment or nomination of Weider as chairperson of the National Elections Commission. The debate, as you mentioned in your introductory remarks, the debate is getting interesting by the day. The views, opposing views about the trending developments, and I enjoy that somewhat. I mean, it entertains me, the fact that you have a lot of people, sharing their views on pertinent national issues. It's something admirable that a lot of Liberians want the country to be the best. And so, this way, we have to all continue to pat our governments on the back for creating the space, particularly the current government, for creating the space for people to express their views about how they feel about unfolding developments in our country. And so I enjoy the fun and I enjoy the debate.
Okay, Edwin.
Yeah, so yesterday I actually listened to Julius J on OKFM. And there was some very important point that he stressed that I think Liberians should probably listen to him. Maybe go back and play that clip every day. And it was just basically advising Liberians the challenges that our country is faced with and how patient that we should be, because these things come with difficulties. And one specific issue he stressed was the issue of this whole electricity problem. And he said, look, if you think we have difficulties, go to other capitals, go to Nigeria, go to Sierra Leone, go to Ghana. Even those who would think that are far better than us, you will come back and say we're far better than them, because this is a normal phenomenon in the entire sub-region. And the reason for that is that the investment for this particular sector is very, very capital intensive. In fact, he even went to the extent and talking about even the studies that were done by previous administration, including the captains and others, and how much it was going to cost if Liberia were to solve this electricity problem by building the Via Dam, which is almost around $1.something billion. And he said, if we are to say we're going to focus on just building that, it means that we have to shut the country down. Nothing happens. Nobody goes to work. Nobody take pay. Everybody sit down home for maybe a year. So we can take all the money from the government budget and say, okay, let's solve this problem. And that's not possible. So and I think these are the conversations that most of our media outlet, the radio station, supposed to carry, so that we inform our people to say, look, it is not that governments have been paying less service to these infrastructure need, but government doesn't have the capital they need to invest into these things. So they go to development partners. And when you go there for loan, they set up all these different benchmarks that you have to meet. We are all excited about the compact coming. But like I always say it here on your radio, I've been opportune to work with these people. They set a lot of criteria that you have to meet.
Okay.
If you don't meet it at the end of the day, they take some of their money back.
Okay. All right. So, Moses, let's hear from you. I'm sure you have something on your mind, that you want to share with us before we can get into our program.
Yes, I definitely agree with Mr. Tagwe, Mr. Famole, the issue of the Elections Commission. The feedback is mixed. People for the appointed chair, people against, and these are legitimate concerns.
Yeah.
And then the issue of LEC, which Mr. Famole talked about. That, hey, look, in life, it's good to do self-reflection. That's what we call life without stress. If you think that your situation is more challenging, just look around you. Take out the family level. Maybe you don't get 3 regular meals. There could be a family next door to you that just doesn't even get a day of meal. And one meal, they can't get it. So basically, I'm saying whatever situation we are faced with, we should accept and figure out what we can do to improve the poor. So I agree with the both of them, make legitimate claim. But now something quickly I want to talk about. So, but quickly, I heard a lawmaker last evening, a representative. He accused the speaker of taking $200,000 to Lofa County. The trip to Lofa, to Solomba, a representative, I think, one of the southeastern counties.
Yeah, DB.
Yeah, DB says the speaker for that trip allegedly used $200,000. I mean, it is mind-boggling. I don't know how credible that is, but I think it is mind-boggling. So thank you.
Okay, I think let me pick up from where you stopped. Yes, I myself, I listened to that. I read also. I think he was speaking on Spoon last night, and where he also clarified that he's not part of any plan to expel Representative Yeke Kolba, but that statement he made, the revelation about some $200,000 being spent by the speaker, is something that he needs to prove it. I think the leadership of the House, because this is what happened in our society. People do not hold people accountable. Someone can just wake up in the morning and say, Dave Tagwe did this. And at the end of the day, we allow that person to just go without inquiry. I think the lower house, because all of them in the house, including the speaker, they want to go for re-election. And some of the negatives that are even being spewed by some of their colleagues are something that should claim their attention. Because if they do not allow that to claim their attention, at the end of the day, it could work against them. If they are going for re-election in their constituencies, their constituents could say, look, at one point in time, it was, the issue was raised by one of your colleagues that you took $200,000 or you share $200,000 amongst the people for no reason, no genuine reason. And at the end of the day, it can work against them, and the constituents can even withhold votes against them. So I'm hoping that the leadership is listening. This statement made by Representative DB, it should be something that should claim that attention. Tomorrow, if they return, let DB be able to prove it. And that yes, the speaker took $200,000. Let him be able to prove it. Let him bring the facts ahead. It shouldn't be that it's political time and so we'll make political statement at the end of the day. No one going to hold anybody accountable. No, he didn't say that in the chambers, because normally I'm sure they have a rule that if you say something in the chambers, yeah, you can go unpunished or you can go without any query. But he said it outside of the chambers. So by right, it should claim the leadership attention. It should claim plenary attention. I want to return the same way they are putting lots of fire on the back of Yeke. They should be able to put fire on the back of their colleagues. No one in the house should just come up to say, should just come up and make an allegation that that are unprovable. So they should ensure that DB comes to prove it when they return. So I think that's very important. Okay, so gentlemen, let's get into our discussion. Like I said, we're trying to figure out tonight whether our 2029 electoral credibility is really under scrutiny, as being claimed by others in society, especially since the nomination of Jonathan Weider. First, I'll be reading a story that just came up this evening. One of the political parties, Lino of Clarence Manuba, just endorsed General Weider as a chair of the commission, and then in the same vein, SUB had just released a statement also. I want to read the two statements. I know it's about the continuation of the debate, but first let's try to play this tape. And this is the tape that many are trying to hold Jonathan Weider by. People believe that he has a political alignment with the Unity Party, as reflected by this video. Let's try to play first.
District of Salaye, they swept the district of Jozo, they swept the district of Bonjama, and swept the district of Kolahu. The only contest is in Foya, the flat barrel home, where the difference is about 3,000 difference between the both parties. That is it. In Bon County, which is another populated county, UP and CDC are at the top, neck to neck. It is assumed that at the end of the day, when all the districts are came and the precincts are reported, UP will have a slight lead, according to the statistics we have. In the county of Bassa, UP and CDC are at the top in Grand Bassa. And in the county of Bomi, UP won a clear victory of more than 80% of the vote. In Cape Mount was the same. In the western county of Bapolo, UP has a clear lead, a comfortable lead in Bapolo. That is it. With more than 90% of the record of count, the 5,890 record of count across all the centers in Nigeria available, 90% of it with the UPL line. It is clear that the UPL line will win a one-round victory. That is the statistics we have.
So on the overall, sir, my name is Prince. I will pray for Focus on Liberia TV from the States and from FM in Liberia. On the overall, how many counties currently you won as per what is provided to you?
They won Maserati, UP won Maserati, they won Limba, they won Magibi, they won Lofa, they won Cape Mount, they won Bomi, and they are winning Bapolo clearly.
So 7 candidates out of 15.
Yeah.
Does that mean you could win 150 out of 15? You got 7 already?
And we are neck to neck in Bomi, UP and CDC are neck to neck.
Okay, so I like to listen to the latter part. We are neck to neck. It is clear that he was trying to make the case for the ruling Unity Party. But at the time, the party was not ruling. He was speaking from the war room. So since his appointment, there has been mixed reactions. There are some who think that because of his political alignment with the ruling establishment, he's not a red pig as chair of the National Elections Commission. But there are others who feel that, look, despite of his political alignment, he's the red pig because he served there before. And besides, there's this law, maybe in the electoral law or something, that even if you were a member of a political party and appointed by that party, you can resign. If you do resign, I mean, it clears you. It doesn't mean that you are still a member of the party. You are going there now to serve in that position as the chair of the commission. So the debate continues to heighten. Let's read this before I can join all of you. Let's read a statement by LANU. Liberal National Union endorses Jonathan Wieder as next chairperson. The Liberal National Union extends its congratulations to Mr. Jonathan Wieder on his nomination by President Joseph Yuma Boyka, Sr., as chairperson of the National Elections Commission. NEC, LANU proudly and unequivocally endorses Mr. Wieder, citing his integrity, patriotism, and unwavering commitment to public service. Mr. Wieder brings 16 years of distinguished services at the NEC, including his role as co-chair, with an impeccable record marked by professionalism and transparency. His depth of experience and institutional knowledge uniquely position him to strengthen the independence and impartiality of the NEC, thereby reinforcing the trust of the Liberian people in the electoral process. Dr. Clarence K. Moniba, political leader of LANU, emphasized the urgency of strong leadership at this pivotal time. The NEC faces significant challenges, and strong, credible leadership is needed now more than ever before, in quotation. Regardless of the criticism going around that there are many qualified people in Liberia, there's absolutely no one better qualified than Jonathan Wieder. At this moment, to lead the commission, let us not politicize everything. As members of the opposition, when something is good for our nation, we must be willing to acknowledge and support it. LANU calls on the Liberian Senate to provide a prompt and favorable considerations of Mr. Wido's nomination, enabling him to assume office without delay and guide the NEC with integrity and excellence. The Liberian National Union remains committed to strengthening democratic institutions and supporting. Gentlemen, this is a statement by LANU. Let's try to read this one that was just released by this political institution. Sub rejects Wieder, accuses Boyka of politicizing NEC. The campus-based Vanguard Student Unification Party, SUP, of the University of Liberia has strongly opposed the nomination of Councillor Jonathan K. Wieder as chairman of the National Elections Commission, NEC. Speaking during a press conference in Monrovia on Wednesday, Super Chairman Odysseus Molba accused President Boyka of attempting to undermine the independence of the NEC by nominating what he called a partisan figure with ties to the ruling Unity Party. He argued that the NEC, as the country's electoral authority, must remain neutral and independent, warning that supporting an individual with alleged political affiliations risks eroding public trust in the electoral process. SUP further claimed that Mr. Wido's reported involvement in Unity Party campaign activities during the 2023 elections raises serious concerns about his impartiality, quoting that one cannot move from the campaign trail to referring the country's electoral institutions. Okay. The student movement called on the Liberian Senate to reject Wido's nomination, stressing that the credibility of future elections depends on maintaining the next independence. SUP vowed to resist the appointment through continued advocacy if the Senate made any attempt to confirm Wido. Now, gentlemen, the debate is still on, but let's get your reading on whether we are trying to affect negatively the credibility of the 2029 election.
Well, this is not a strange debate, Saba. In the past, whenever chairpersons of the National Elections Commission were appointed, similar debates would erupt. And so it's not a strange phenomenon. I know about the appointment at that time of Francis Johnson Morris, how they call him, Henry Kokoya, then those days back in the days, James Fromoyan. These debates came out. So it's not a strange phenomenon. When people are appointed in government, most especially in positions such as the chairperson of the National Elections Commission, is a highly politicized, government institution. And so whenever someone is appointed there, we look at the person with the mindset of coming to cheat, with the mindset of having alignment with the ruling government. And so we prejudge them, we prejudge them. They haven't taken seat. They haven't demonstrated the competence or the ability for which they've been appointed. Already when they're appointed, we conclude that, they come in to cheat. They have their power of the ruling Unity Party. Yes, of course. They had to call him. Wido was in the war room of the Unity Party during those elections. He had a responsibility, and he was performing that responsibility. And you also mentioned that, look, if you come into such a position, you have to resign from the party of which you are a member. And do we know that Wido has resigned from the Unity Party or still remains a member of the Unity Party? And then he has been appointed chairperson of the National Elections Commission. So these kind of views would always be expressed, and that what makes the debate interesting.
Okay.
You will hear these divergent of views about the appointment of chairperson of the National Elections, because it's a sensitive and well politicized institution of government. So people.
But before I go to Edwin, I want to make a very definitive. I want to take a definitive position. Do you see don't you see the argument being put forth by those on the other side of the aisle that Jonathan Wido is aligned politically with the Unity Party, and as such he's not a good pick? Do you agree with them?
Well, it's the president that has the prerogative to determine who is a good pick or not. And also the ball is in the court of the national legislature, specifically the Senate, to determine whether Wido is good for the position or not, or suitable for the position or not. The Senate will determine that from their scrutiny. The word scrutiny is thoroughly or critically look at an issue or a thing to determine its pros and cons. That's what the word scrutiny means. And that's the reason why confirmation hearings are allowed or permitted by our Constitution. So Wido gets before the Senate for confirmation hearing, and the Senate would do its scrutiny to determine whether he's suitable or not, no matter whatever the public feels. If the Senate thinks that he's suitable for a position, they'll confirm it. If the Senate thinks he doesn't have the ability.
You don't seem to be definitive, Tabwa, and this is You know, you
No, this
no,
is
I'm
not-
coming. I'm coming that way. I'm coming.
Mhm.
You have a stake to the 2029 election. Whatever, let's assume Jonathan Weeder, whatever election that he produces in 2029, it will have a bearing on you. You have a bearing on your family, your children as well.
Sabo.
I'm coming. I don't know as to why you often, you often conceal your position and tend to run under other people's position.
Sabo. You know, the issue is you have to be analytical.
Yeah, but
you want me to be definitive.
No, I'm coming.
Definitive on
The
what?
question I ask you:
Uh-huh.
do those who are saying that Jonathan Weeder is not a good pick by the fact that he's aligned politically with the ruling establishment, do you support them or not?
Well, look,
And their views justified?
it's just Sabo. It's not mean to say whether your views are justified or not. What I do know is that they have the right to speak out how they feel about issues.
You still
No, Sabo. Wait, you
No, but you still don't want to take a
The thing
definitive
is
position.
that even the ruling United Party now, some members of the ruling United Party at the time, they had similar view about the appointment at the time of David Brown Lazana. There were talks about her intimacy with George Weah and that he would have cheated. And David Brown conducted one of the.
This is not an issue. No. I'm coming, Dave. I'm coming, Dave.
We've been-
Dave. The question, but let me leave you a bit. I'll come
You
back
have
to
to
you.
leave me. I'm going to.
So
You're always escaping. Comrade,
Mhm.
we have Mr. Jonathan Weeder, who has been named by the President of the Republic of Liberia to serve in the position as chairman of the National Elections Commission. We have this critical election coming up in 2029, which we are all praying to God to see and participate in. Following his appointment, you saw video that been trending online about his involvement with the ruling Unity Party. And in fact, he used to be in the war room and he was announcing, and you heard him clear. He said, we, which indicated that he has a connection to the party. Although there are others who think that, well, that's not a problem. He can still be chair of the National Elections Commission. We believe he is integrity. He comes with a huge probity that no one can question. Besides his experience also, he served at the National Elections Commission and had oversight on other areas, including procurement and governance as well. So he's best suited. He's the best pick for now than no one else. But there are others who believe that, look, to give the election, the current election or the pending election credibility, we should be looking for someone who has no political link. Maybe the president could have gone for someone in the civil society. Then all these noise and debates about Jonathan not being the best pick, the noise would have been quieted by now. What do you think? Let me hear from you.
So first of all, we'll start with the legal part of it that you talked about. It is the president's prerogative. The president is the only one the Constitution gives the authority to appoint officials of government.
No.
coming, Chief.
We're
going somewhere now.
I don't want you to slay this thing yet.
Okay, no,
I want you to
let's go.
understand.
Go ahead.
Nobody.
I understand everything you said.
No, you don't understand.
I understand you very well.
Comrade. Nobody is
questioning the president's appointment power. Okay, so that passed that. So that passed that. So the president can decide to appoint someone judge the Elections Commission, right?
Fine, and I want him to appoint me as election committee chair.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that. I'll go to serve.
Okay.
But the point of the matter is,
Mhm.
people are saying the president had appointed a political figure of his. That's
People will always say what they want to say, irrespective of who you appoint there. Even if you take Edwin Famole today and put him to the Elections Commission as chairperson, the very first thing they say, oh, but that guy been sitting on the program with several judges and praising the government. That's what they would say. Look, when President Sirleaf appointed Jerome Kokoya for the 2017 elections, Jerome Kokoya had contested earlier on the Unity Party ticket in Bond County and lost. So it means that he was Unity Party partisans, right? And conducted an elections and the opposition won. You see, this is the point I was trying to get to. I know Jonathan Widow very well because he served on the commission with my late mother, Madam Commissioner Mary Ann Brownell. And I know the time, I know the effort that those people used to have. I was having meeting at our house on Asma Street, in as much as we were younger at that time, but I could see in the living room the debate among them. So it tells you that elections is not an individual. Even the chairperson of the commission does not sway the elections result. It's a difficult thing. They have to vote upon it. They have to scrutinize it. I know the man that talks about very well, Widow. And like you say, he's well schooled when it comes to elections matter. Now, the thing that all of us here don't know, what he's a card-carrying member of the Unity Party. We don't know. We're just assuming. He could have been hired to come and assist with the war room.
No, let me hold you there. Let me hold you there.
Why not hold people?
Listen, don't misinform the point.
I'm not misinforming.
The point of the matter.
I say he could.
No, not could. Don't use he could. You listen to the video.
If you say we,
I'm coming.
doesn't mean he's a card-carrying member.
What are you saying?
No. If you say we,
what are you saying?
Chief.
Are you saying that if I know that I'm coming? I know exactly. I'm not a member of the CDC. I'm not a member of the Unity Party. I'm not a member of the CMC. I'm not a member of the new Helping Verb, which is a Action Party, all of that. Okay, now, if do you think I'm going to claim that I'm going to use the word we?
So when people use those kind of sentences or phrase, we, it means that they're taking possession of something that they're involved with.
Thank you.
So at that point in time, he could have been a sympathizer of the Unity Party because he's speaking on that behalf. He's speaking from the war room. No, he's speaking from that war room. Like I said, none of us has authenticated whether he's a card-carrying member of the Unity Party.
Okay, so
I just said to you that this man served on the commission in 2005, and that commission was appointed through a civil society nomination process. And I still maintain that whether or not he is a card-carrying member, all of us are here to know. I sit here and many times I back the government. I'm not a card-carrying member of any political party.
Comrade. So you just alluded to the fact that he may not be a card, carrying member.
He could be a sympathizer. Yeah.
He could be a sympathizer. In your reading, in your wisdom, do you think it's fair for a sympathizer of a political party that is ruling, a political party that has the resources under its or to its disposal, a political party that has the president with the appointing power?
What does the law say?
Comrade. I'm coming there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think it was a fair judgment for such a man who you claim now? You say he's not a card-carrying person.
I said
he could not.
He could not. Yes.
Fine.
Yeah, he
but
could or could
maybe
not.
He's a sympathizer. In your own word, you see, it's prudent to elect. To nominate a sympathizer.
You see, when you use the word fair, it's relative. It depending on who's looking at it, from which angle.
From which angle you are looking at it.
No, I'm coming. You quoted the law here. That the law says, even if you are a partisan, when you get appointed, what do?
You can resign.
You resign. So if this person is a sympathizer, the honest thing to do is to
Welcome back to the Nighttime Heat from FM 105.5. We have to experience this for some time because we face with this whole electricity situation. Gaming has withdrawn its portion of the current.
I think that has been solved now.
Okay, we understand that.
Yes.
They're sorting that out now. Now we understand. The feedback. That's been sorted out. We understand.
Yeah, it has been solved by the managing director.
And okay, kudos to the MG. I think they did extremely well. Let's recognize him for that. We got some few individuals who are working this government.
Tirelessly.
And look, I will say that I don't know what others would think, but there are few individuals working in this government. And let me give the kudos to the LECMD. He's doing extremely well. Yeah, although we're still facing sharing and all of that, but he's trying.
Yes.
Another man who's working this government, and we are about to celebrate our 1 year as a nighttime heat, and we're going to certificate them. The finance minister is doing extremely well.
Yes.
The minister of foreign affairs is also doing extremely well.
The managing director of the port,
the managing director of the port is doing extremely well. Yeah. And then we'll extend also to
and even LPRC.
No, we don't know what he's doing well.
No. There are reasons for that.
Don't bring that discussion.
There are reasons for that. No. Let me say that.
I'm speaking. You are speaking.
There are most of the countries around us that are having
Combre.
Yes.
Combre. I'm speaking. You're not speaking.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not given that. I should be able to select who's doing well. But anyway, back to the discussion.
Okay. Yes. So let I was in flight before we went offline.
Yeah, surely.
Right. You quoted the law, right? And you excellently said it that if the person is a member of a political party, they have to resign. Irrespective of who you appoint at the elections commissions as chairperson, there will be an optics. Even if you go for anybody, whether in the diaspora, you bring in, there'll be some level of optics. However,
but the optics could be good.
Like I said,
the optics could be good.
The optics could be good. It could also be bad.
It should be good. That's not an issue.
Again, let me say this. And you are right. There are a lot of Liberians in Liberia that have some high level of credibility, that have good legal minds. Mm-hmm. I can say there and name a couple of them. They could have been approached. Do you want to do it? If they agree, fine. It would be a good page for us. However, let us now raise this alarm that whoever becomes the chairperson of the commission decide who becomes president of Liberia. No. Because if that was the case, like we all said, the Director Brown Lasana would have decided George Weah as president. If that was the case, Jerome Kokoya would have decided for the Unity Party at that time, Kennedy Bwaka, to be president. But that's not the case. It's a whole different process by itself. So let's watch the process. And yes, again, sometimes.
So the question to you before I go to our colleague who's in the diaspora, Moses Sandy,
mm-hmm.
What do you think about the arguments by those who think that he's not a good pick on grounds that he has a political linkage?
Well, I don't buy that argument. What we should be looking for, is he competent? Does he have the competent level to be able to handle this process? Does he know the inner workings of the commission?
You think he's not going to be influenced by any?
I don't believe. And, okay. and again, let me get it straight. A lot of people have not realized this. With the electoral system that we've had, that we've put in from 2005 till now, is difficult. Extremely difficult for anybody to manipulate the elections process.
Okay. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat, Red Tail on Prime FM 105.5. We are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Just tap Nighttime Heat either on your Facebook or your YouTube channel. You're going to follow the show online as well. And of course, also, we are streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. We want you to share the live video, not to only watch, but share the live video so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow what's happening tonight on the program. Now, Melvin, Moses, let me put your question this way. We have the Liberian Senate or the House of Representatives on recess as we speak. And the Senate is the body. They call it the House of Elders. They are the body responsible to conduct confirmation hearings for government nominees. Now, considering the constitution of the Senate, considering the leadership, Moses, this question goes to you directly. We have Yombli Kanga from Grand Bassa as currently the Senate pro tempore. We have the Vice President as the President of the Senate. We have more senators from the ruling establishment than that of those from the opposition bloc. Moses, with that understanding, do you see a smooth ride for Jonathan Widow doing his confirmation hearing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And look, so maybe I will be here in contempt. For the Liberian Senate of today, I do not trust confirmation hearings at the Liberian Senate. It's just mere publicity stunt. They just go there for floor show. You said the senators are referred to as what? The elders. But the Senate of today is one of the least. The Liberian Senate today is an extension of the executive branch of government. Yombli Kanga and the others, they are doing everything to please President Bouaka. Mr. Wheeler will go to the Senate. They will put out the regular publicity stunt. At the end of the day, they will confirm it. The Senate is an extension. The entire legislature, not taken from the Senate. Go in the House, it's the same. So, but you guys are in Liberia. Can you name me one person that ever went to that Senate that was rejected? On the basis of integrity? On the basis of competence? Can you name one nominee? Absolutely not. Now, let's come to Widow. Look, when it comes to competence, white history, education, that's not in dispute. It's not in dispute. The guy has what it takes to be chair. I mean, from 2004 to 2020, 16 years, he knows how the commission runs. But the concern most people, including myself, that we have is the political alliance. The political alliance that creates integrity problem. It creates doubt. You expect George Weah there and CDC to go to election to have Widow preside as chair, and you think they're going to trust the process? Yes, yes, the ANC and other strong opposition political parties to go through that process, thinking that this is going to be free and fair. Look, this nomination has created more problem for the government than good. It has become a distraction. If I were President Joseph Yuma Bouaka, don't forget now, you came under the canopy of what? Rescue mission. You said you came to save the country. When you rescue, that's what it means. You resuscitate, you revive. So if you came to do that, everything was bad, you came to put it back on track. You don't do something that people is questionable. So in summary, I'm saying to you guys, look, this man will be confirmed because we have a compromise in it. Whether we like it or not, that's the truth of the matter. Yeah, you have been confirmed. Yeah, I'm being honest. And guys, I will have to leave you soon. You see me driving. I'm running to my office. I have a presentation that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm running late. Traffic is crazy here. So I'm
Okay,
leaving you
Moses.
guys. Yeah.
All right, Moses, thank you. Thank you. Now,
right.
Moses raised two issues, and let me begin with you. First, he said the legislature not only limited it to the Senate, he says an extension of the executive. Do you agree with him?
Well, I don't agree with him in practice, because that's not how it is, and there's a reason for that. You see clear distinction between the legislature and the executive branch of government. Yes, there are issues of coordinations, and sometimes people think that the legislature is not part of the government, because like the honorable mayor said the other night here, when a lawmaker sits on the public platform and say, I want the government to fail, it means that even the legislator himself doesn't think that he's part of that government, because when the government fails, you as a legislator, you fail. So most time when you see the coordination between the executive and the legislative branch of government, you see it as an extension or a marriage. But basically that's not the act. You know, or
so you don't think the legislature is an extension?
No, I don't believe it. The reason is that they're doing their work,
but he raised an issue that who do you know, or how many persons have the executive nominated
and
the Senate rejected them?
Well, it is not because nobody has been rejected, so it means that the legislature is an extension of the executive. Now, when you are nominated, there are things that the legislature asks for to present, and it's based, because the thing is that it's almost like an interview process that you go through. The president believes in your qualification, believes in your competence. That's why he or she submits you for a confirmation hearing. So theirs there is just to make sure that whatever credential that you bring in and how you understand the job, to be able to put you through that scrutiny process and then communicate back to the president to say, look, the person name that you sent for confirmation, we've gone through the interview process and we believe that they are competent to occupy the job. Yes, they may have said something maybe during the confirmation hearing that you may want to have maybe more details. And sometimes they work in committee rooms. So they say, okay, since we said this in the public, what we can do basically is to be able, no, she want to move the label, that's on camera, is to be able to basically, say to them that, look, you said something that was not clear. Can you clarify it? Can you make amend to what you said? And based on that, once in their own thinking, they believe that you satisfy that, they confirm you.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that they are,
Dave,
that they are.
Agree with Moses always speculating this, that the legislature is just an extension. No one has been nominated to the Senate, and the Senate really conduct a proper scrutiny and maybe found out that the president is not well suited and rejected.
Sabo and others, I covered the Senate for some time, almost maybe a year. I covered the Senate, and I know how the question or the scrutiny can be very, very intense. I think most of it is about academic experience, competence, and and one's ability to know the position he's about to take, whether he has the know-how, he has the experience or the competence. And on the basis that the legislature or the Liberian Senate specifically does is examination process of nominees for the, people always have these kind of views, and that's how it has always been. If I want to cite specific examples, and James Flomaya, he cited an example, and many other examples that people that we thought would have manipulated elections in favor of, the party that appointed them. We'd always have that perception. It's a similar perception we also have in against Mr. Weeder. Weeder hasn't taken seat yet. He hasn't performed nothing. Those who have always succeeded at the Senate, they've exhibited their ability. They exhibited the answer to they convincing the answer most of the questions that were given them by the Senate in terms of during the confirmation hearing. They engaged them. And the fact that your presentation is impressive, it's convincing, and you have credentials to show the convince.
You confirm
you confirm you.
Okay,
that
so gentlemen,
mean that. So I disagree
with Moses.
I disagree with Moses that the fact that the Liberian Senate hasn't rejected any nominee means that the Senate is rubber stamp, the Senate has an extension with the executive, and the Senate is manipulated. That's absolutely misleading.
Okay, Moses, quickly. We'll have to transition.
Yeah, quickly, look, I'm running late, but let me just say this. Besides confirmation hearings, right? Can you guys give us an example of any critical bill that emanated from the executive and the Senate rejected it? Can you name me one?
And now there you go.
Let me elaborate. Let me elaborate. Yeah, wait, Tabi, I'll give you a chance. Let me elaborate quickly on the essence of confirmation hearing. Confirmation hearing is a rigorous job interview. It's meant to select the best. And let's look at some of the people that have sailed through that Senate. The guy who is at the fire service, I think either as director or deputy, this man was an aide in the office of Senator DeLong. He ran behind him, taking photos. No experience, no education. The man is at the fire service. Then when you tell me say the Senate is a serious group, where you make Daniel Sano a deputy minister for public affairs, no background communication, clueless about his job duties and responsibility, you confirm that man and you say, and Moses Senate should take you serious? I mean, the examples are just too many.
Yeah, Moses, you have your position.
Too many.
Yes. I've always said somewhat and others. I've always said that Moses has always pictured himself as someone who has all the ideas. And almost he has a similarity with a politician in this country who was always taught that he has all the answers for our problems as a nation. And that's exactly how Moses behaves. I mean, look, this is not about a casting aspersion on an entire legislature. Look, Moses is almost like the people out there who always have the perception that all our politicians, all our officials of government are corrupt. And that's a perception that is dishonest. And so when someone is appointed, and Moses said, you're talking about Daniel Sano not having, you can always be in the position of disparaging and talking about others. Daniel Sano, he has proven some qualification or competence. And that's why he was confirmed by the Liberian Senate. Had he not, the Senate would not have confirmed him as deputy minister of information. And so you have to get that right. Gerald Limit Pierre was also confirmed because all those who have been sent to the Senate for confirmation hearing, they questioned them rigorously, scrutinized them, and they proven, they convinced and all the senators at the Liberian Senate, they are now all United Party lawmakers. So they make the decision on a majority basis. Then you sit there and you say, because you have to stop this habit of disparaging and talking about others. If you have other answers, keep them to yourself, bring them on board, but with respect. Come with respect for others. It's not always.
Mr. Tabe, Before you make
One minute. Let that blend. Let that blend.
I will always have a problem with you until you can refine yourself in how you talk about others and how you put down others. That's absolutely wrong. You don't have all the answers, Moses. You don't have all the answers. You don't have all the answers. Don't always put yourself in a position that you have all the answers.
Okay, all right. So
you condemn everybody.
Edwin.
So I think Moses asked a very important question: whether there have been any bill from the legislature or from the executive that have been vetoed. Yes, the one we discussed here lengthily, the port decentralization bill. We saw that back and forth between the executive and the Senate, right? Went back and forth. We all thought that, it was going to have a free ride. Up to now, that bill is still hanging. That's a downside of democracy, whether we like it or not. There will be disagreement. And the way in which government is structured, the way in which our legislature is structured, decision of that body is in plenary, meaning majority. So if Edwin Famula goes to the Senate for confirmation hearing, and I sat before 30 senators, 15 doesn't like me. What are maybe for their own reasons, maybe my posture of what I say, right? Out of the other 15 that like me, yes, they ought to vote for me. Once I'm able to convince the other maybe 3 or 4 from their side, or even one person, I'm going to get confirmed. So it is not basically on your competence. And these things, it happens in every democracy in the world.
Okay.
Even the United States that Moses is in. That's not everybody. In fact, the lady who was just the head of the Homeland Security thing, people had issues. But guess what? She was confirmed by the most seasoned democracy in the world. After a few times, the president dismissed her. President Trump took her from the job. The current Attorney General of the United States, when she said before Senator, the way she even talked to them, the way she degraded them, people have issues. But again, that's democracy.
Okay.
The majority of the people in Congress voted her.
Most of your party comment on this. We have to transition.
Yeah, look, let me say this quickly. I said to you guys, it's good that my brother Edwin made reference to one of the bills that was sent to the legislature. And let me tell my brother, I want you guys to prove me wrong. Have you gotten any public communication, the bill that the president vetoed, and that was sent back to the legislature? Have you gotten any public communication regarding the status of that bill, the decentralization bill?
So
have you gotten that? No. I'm just saying. I'm just citing that as one of the examples of the kind of legislature we have. And then let me say this. I said to you that look, confirmation hearings are intended to select the best for the country. You take someone who was an aide in the office of the law, and you send him here to fire service? No education, no training, and so you've been dismissive, you've been condescending. Where were you, Edwin? You are an educated lawyer. Where were you going to find a job as a lawyer when you had no credential in law? And Tagba want us to believe that? Man.
Okay.
All
right, Moses. Then let's try to transition. I think, gentlemen, this discussion about the nomination of Mr. Jonathan Weider will continue until the final decision from the Liberian Senate. So I know there'll be individuals who will continue to raise their voices and argue their points that he's not best suited for the position. Not that he's not qualified, but because he has political alignment with the ruling establishment. There will still be individuals who think that yes, because he's qualified, he served there before. Let's disregard the issue of a political alignment and allowed him to serve as chair of the commission. So the debate will continue. So let that transition quickly. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat, read to the Prime FM 105.5. Again, kindly share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also follow and know what's happening tonight on the Nighttime Heat. Now, gentlemen, let's talk about the Rototown land dispute. We saw just a day ago when police decided to fire tear gas at some residents after we saw in the video that they were gathered with the representative Safoko, and Safoko himself had to even flee because of the tear gas at the time. Besides, in his video, which we're about to play, he made some allegations against the police director, who he claimed is put ownership to the land, and also had threatened also his life and all of that. Having heard and watched the video, we saw that it was quite necessary to contact the Liberia National Police through its spokesperson, Sam Collins. Mr. Collins answered our call. We called him first, second. He didn't pick. Later on, he picked. And he said, well, we are not in the business of just reacting to people when they make allegations against the police. And so I said to him, the allegation made against your boss is grave, especially a certain lawmaker claiming threats to his life. That allegation is grave. And then he said, well, my boss is not in the country. And then I said to him, well, I think you are under obligation to have contacted your boss before even the end of day yesterday, because this allegation is grave, and I expect that you should have unhindered access to your boss, except you want to prove otherwise. You want to say to me, well, is that why you're thinking? Because I know, as a good public affairs individual, you should always have access to your boss, unhindered access. That I know, and I served as a communication director before. I had unhindered access. In fact, I attended a management meeting. My boss would be in the office with whoever. I walked in the office, and so this allegation against him, Mr. Gregory Como, it's very grave. So I expected that by now you should be able to. So he said to me, well, the police is coming up with a statement. Up to present, we haven't seen that statement yet. But let's try to play the video and hear what Safoko had to say.
Instructed his police to shoot at me. He instructed his police to carry on real violence. And what happened yesterday was an attempted assassination towards my life. Gregory has told me that he will kill me if I don't stay away from the land. So I'm here today to inform the people of Liberia. I'm here to also inform our partners, our international partners, the government of Liberia. I'm also here to inform the president of this republic that Gregory Como, whose works, by the way, and pleasure of the president, has caused series of problems in this country. He has caused a lot of violation. Sometimes in last year, Gregory Como also again had a press conference where he said that our friend Safoko Jr. was a person of interest. He ordered my arrest without giving me due process, and we have police that were surrounded my yard. They came with their arms to take away my life. When we went into that process, it was proven that I had no idea about the allegation, and the Liberian people got to know that I had no idea. It was political, and Gregory Como now has become a political tool being used to carry on all of the violations against the laws of this country. Few months back at the legislature, Gregory Como was seen beating lawmakers on Capitol Hill. He has been very lawless. When you look at the murder that went on in King George under Gregory Como administration, the Eli Masale and Abraham Kekula murdered during the Kinjor massacre on February 28, 2024. Gregory Como is yet to tell the world, to tell the Liberian people why he killed those people in Kinjor. And those people who died in Kinjor, he is yet to apologize or inform the Liberian people about what happened in Kinjor. The 17-year-old student Jones Kennedy, who was murdered in Riha on July 3rd.
Okay, so that's Representative Safoko. Let's try to get the other video quickly where he was meeting his constituents and trying to encourage them to do away with violence, and the matter will be handled in court. While that meeting was ongoing, police began to fire tear gas. Let's try to see that video quickly.
Broke down the homes of these people. They left our people homeless. But what I don't understand, they fail to realize that the executive that is headed by the president was elected by the very Liberians. And as the president of this Republic of Liberia, he's under mandate from the people to ably represent the people. The government is to provide what its people cannot provide for themselves. Make the people homeless, and they've been very comfortable with that. They have refused to give audience, not just to me, but the people of Rototown. And I want to be on record for this. This field, you can see the alley that passes through the community. You can see the water and sewer. There are construction there. You can see the ERU compound that Madam Seli constructed here a few years back, where she came and she asked the community dweller to allow her carry on this construction. At the same time, the water and sewer place here, they also reached out to the community dweller and the representative of this district years back to ask for permission, because the past government know fully well that this land is owned by the community. Today, Gregory Como is abusing power on grounds that he will remain a police director forever. And I want to be very clear about this. And I'm very clear. I ask the community to remain resolute. You remain tolerant. Nobody here should take the law in their hands. I'm telling the community, this is why you elected me. While it is true, they've been very disrespectful towards me, towards the leadership, towards the people of District Number 9. However, I am still not deterred in standing up for the people that I represent. But what I want to conscientize you about, all of you in Rototown, the young people, our elders, our babies, and all of the children, I want to conscientize you. Stay out of violence. Do not do any form of violence. If anybody comes and see you, they want to embarrass you, avoid them and put them on record. As I speak to you, I have just communicated with my lawyer, and my lawyer have told me exactly what he's supposed to say. So as I have started respecting the law, I will continue to respect the laws of this country in making sure that the rights of my people are protected. This is a same violation. These are things that can create chaos. These are things that can make people fall apart. And these are things that can bring problems in the country. So what I want to say to you, as I have communicated with the chairman, and I'm communicating with you, tomorrow the lawyer and myself will visit the community, and we'll have the peaceful conversation that we're supposed to have concerning this land. Remain peaceful. Do not throw stone at anybody. Do not damage anything they have placed here. Never do that. The reason I'm saying this, I don't want you to take the laws in your hand. I will not support you for taking the laws in your hand, because myself will not take the laws in my hand. This is why I have been using every legal means to talk about this land. If it will take me 5 years, if it will take me 10 years, I will continue to stand up. There are land that people have fought for in this country that took hundreds of years, but the sake of their land. I remain and I stand by my word. This land belongs to this community. And absolutely no individual without permission from the community will take ownership of this land. If Greg likes, he can send all his gun people to kill me.
Tear gas have been shot here. What the police are shooting tear gas. As the lawmaker is standing right here. The lawmakers is standing right here, and then there's a tear gas being shot. There's a tear gas being shot. There's a tear gas being shot as the lawmaker is being standing. Representative Frank Safoko had to flew this scene. Josh! Back up. Tear gas is being shot in the community by the emergency response unit team. And the police is making moves within the community as they continue to shoot tear gas. Focus on Liberia. I'm sorry, Augustine Mario Jr. I think.
All right, gentlemen, we like what we just narrated is just what we saw a few seconds ago. The representative was meeting his constituents, trying to encourage them, and immediately the police, and we saw it. Dave, let me begin with you on this one. The approach of the Liberian National Police, especially at the time the residents were meeting with their representatives, to have gone in and begun firing tear gas. Let's hear from you. What's your reading?
We have to be very careful or mindful of some of these, these issues. The first thing is that Safoko is a politician. He's a representative. And Safoko has the desire of being re-elected to the legislature in coming elections. Safoko wanted to visit his constituency to create an impression on them that he loves them so much and that government wants to take the land and that he loves them more than the government. Look, the first thing is the government wouldn't just come up one day and start breaking down people's homes. Have we found out?
I don't know. No, I'm coming.
So I have to set my business.
No, Tambe, I don't want us to. I don't want us to go deep into because I'm coming. I'm coming.
Analytically, you have to broaden.
No, I'm coming, Dave.
Okay.
I asked you a specific question.
Go on. What's the question?
Let's talk. We will talk about the contents of Safoko's utterances. We'll talk about that. First, I want us to dwell on the approach by the LNP.
Well, Sabo, the first thing, are you suggesting that police officers got on board a pickup, drove to Rototown, and just started firing tear gas? That's the impression that's been created. That's the impression. Police officers, pickups, empty pickups packed right in front of the headquarters. They jumped in, drove to Rototown, and all of a sudden started shooting tear gas. That's the impression you created, or anybody who would think that we're creating. And that's absolutely wrong. I don't think police officers would just reach Rototown and just firing tear gas without anything being the cause of the firing of tear gas.
But you saw Talbot. Let's be realistic, please.
No,
listen.
Are you telling me I'm realistic?
Yes, let's be realistic.
No, Sabo,
Let us be realistic.
I'm realistic.
You saw a video.
Yeah.
What did you see transpired that provoked the firing of the tear gas? Tell us, Talbot.
Sabo.
You saw the video.
Sabo. Internet all across the world. Police fire tear gas or law enforcement officers fire tear gas when they know that the situation or the circumstances under which they find themselves is life-threatening and it could lead to destruction of lives and property.
So what Tagbe?
And to disperse.
Listen, Tagbe. Group of people. No, Tagbe, look, we got to be realistic here.
No, I'm
People
realistic.
are listening to us.
I'm realistic.
Tagbe, look, let me say to you,
Yeah.
you've made name in this country.
No, that's
No,
not an issue.
No,
No, that's not an issue.
You've made name in this
That's
country.
not an issue.
People know that David Tagbe.
No, that's not
I
an
don't
issue.
want you to skew them.
No.
Listen,
No,
I'm not patronizing
No,
him.
Sabo.
I'm not trying to remind him of the name he has made. Apparently he's forgotten. I know Moses not here.
No,
I
Sabo.
will play my part as supposed to play.
No,
Tagbe,
Sabo.
listen. Tagbe, I did ask you the question. Do you support the approach of the LMP? And you said something may have provoked them. I want you now to tell me, because you watched the video, what really provoked the police for which it fired the tear gas
Well, the first thing
at the residence?
The first thing you listen to the reporter who covered the scene of the reported tear gas that were fired. The reporter said the police are firing the tear gas at the lawmaker. That's exactly what he said. You know, this is the kind of report.
You sound to be. Come here, let me bring it back. Maybe you didn't see the video. No, maybe you didn't see the video. Maybe your eyes were not back there to see the video. Listen, I'm coming to you, Edwin. My colleagues are here now, and I will engage you guys. Listen, Tagbe, you saw a video. You saw a lawmaker. Let me qualify that. A sitting lawmaker, well respected by his people, a man who was given lots of votes to go to occupy his people. You saw him meeting his people, and you didn't see him, you didn't hear him saying, gentlemen, you use force, you use violence. All he said, we'll handle this through the legal process. I don't want anybody using force or using violence. This land belongs to the community. Even if I would die, I will continue to advocate. I'm coming, Tagbe. And while that meeting was ongoing, while that meeting was ongoing, you heard police firing tear gas, and people began running helter-skelter. Tagbe, tell me about the approach of the police.
Look, the first thing is that the reporter sounded as if he was hired.
You still? Why are you going to the reporter? Why has the reporter? No. We are not talking about this. Let me give you.
No.
Because you have absolutely nothing.
No.
We are talking about police approach, and you.
I will not go your direction.
You are attacking.
Wait.
What did the reporter do?
Someone giving chance. The reporter sounded.
But we are not talking about the reporter. We are talking about the police approach.
That what solidifies my argument.
What solidifies your argument?
Hey, let me lay my business. And that will solidify my argument. There's a reporter who says the police fire tear gas directly at the lawmaker. It sounded like a hired reporter. So even if
you didn't see the police fire.
Excuse me.
You didn't hear the sound of tear gas. David, you have absolutely. You have limited contribution. Let me leave you now. Let me go to Edwin. No. Let me go to Edwin. You have limited contribution.
I got a learn.
It seems I can't.
So you know where I'm driving. So you want to stop?
No. That way.
No. I disagree, someone.
You did interesting.
I disagree.
That way. No, I'm not going to lie to you. Our focus here, the approach.
That's why you will never be sent to the National Election Commission.
No problem. I'm not going to go there. If I'm going there, I will not manipulate the process. There will be a free, fair, and transparent election. The point is that what I'm saying to you, tell me, Tagbe, you saw
something must have provoked.
What has provoked it? You watch the video. Look, you say watch the video.
Every story has two sides. There's a
a
possibility that the reporter you're talking about, there's a possibility that he avoided the scene that provoked.
I'm not talking about reporter.
I'm
talking about the approach of the Liberia National Police.
What ignited the police approach? The way the
No, so why do you know Inactive is?
Sabo. The fact of the
Why
matter,
do you know Inactive is that way?
Sabo,
Mhm.
as far I have explicit confidence in the performance of the Liberian National Police.
Mhm.
I don't think the Liberian National Police will just drive to a scene or drive to an area and immediately fire and take out without it being
But
provoked.
you saw the video. What are you acting like you didn't see the video?
Why if the person who did the photography avoided the path of the scene?
So are you
that provoked the
insinuating that
situation?
way? Are you insinuating that the residents were throwing stones at the police? Is that what you're insinuating?
No, I'm not. Don't put words in my mouth. I'm saying something must
Okay,
have
let me hold you
provoked
there.
it.
Let me hold you there.
Something
And
must
go
have
to
provoked it.
Mr. Edwin Farmer. I know Edwin is
Something must have provoked it.
Edwin, no, I come in. No,
Don't come manipulate
no.
Let me have an independent view.
Edwin is a legal mind. Edwin understands.
But that's how to do legality. Just common sense and critical analysis of the situation.
Edwin will know.
Okay, Edwin, the Memphis rapping.
No, I'm not rapping, man. Okay, Edwin, you saw the video. What's your
He
reading?
wants to manipulate you.
So the facts and circumstances around the event was not properly captured in that video. What do I say? So because the video started from when the lawmaker was speaking, right? We did not see beyond that before the lawmaker arrived on the scene. What may have anticipated the lawmaker coming on the scene? Do you know whether there was already a protest ongoing before the lawmaker came?
Mm-hmm.
Those things, these are the facts and circumstances that we need to investigate further. Now, the lawmaker had called his people. They were standing one side, having conversation, and in fact, he even, started to, calm the tempo down. But like I earlier said, we did not know where this whole thing started from. And the proximity they were in, they were right next door to the ERU headquarters. Because looking at the video, I'm coming at you.
No, let me hold you back.
Yeah.
Let me hold you. Let me hold you.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, you watched the video.
Mm-hmm. I did watch it.
Fine, but you didn't see exactly
You turn a blind eye on aspect. So
Well, what issues?
like that way. Like you that way.
Uh-huh.
You
Go ahead.
put a blind eyes on
Go
the president using it that way.
No, I
The
did
question
not.
is,
Mhm.
you saw a group of citizens
Of course, I did.
gathered,
Circled by circling the lawmaker and he's speaking.
speaking to them.
That's why I said that's where the video started.
And
Yes.
sounding the message of peace to them.
But I was saying
I'm
that you cut
coming.
me off.
No,
Yeah.
but you are going elsewhere. You
No,
can't speak.
no, I'm not going anywhere.
Now, while they were speaking,
Mhm.
you heard the sound
Of a tear gas.
tear gas and
Mhm.
people running here to scatter.
Yes.
The question I want to address,
Mhm.
the issue I want to address,
Mhm.
what is your reaction to the approach by the LMP?
This is what I said, and let me repeat. You and I did not see the onset of that particular gathering. What we saw was a group of people surrounded by a lawmaker while they were speaking, while he was speaking to them, even encouraging them to remain peaceful,
to become
to be calm. So if you in the midst of a group of people and tell them to remain peaceful, to remain calm, it precipitated that there are some kind of clashes that have been ongoing in our place pertaining to this land. He said, remain peaceful, do not throw stone. I will make sure I will get involved to make sure that this thing is solved.
excellent.
Now, when David Tagler said, because the police have a scope of operations, police do not just go somewhere, just open fire on people or just use tear gas. Because when they do that, there's a professional standard division of the police that investigate them for that for their act. So whoever fired that tear gas, if the people were just peaceful standing talking by themselves, they will be questioned and ask them, why did you have, were you under any threat? Why did you have to use tear gas to disperse the crowd? And like I said, right next door is the ERE headquarters. Right next door is the WFC, the water and sewer, pumping facility. Now, there are some allegations that the lawmaker made.
I don't want to go into the allegation now.
Okay.
We'll go into that later on.
Okay.
We'll go into that later on. again, let me try to remind you.
Mm-hmm.
When you see a group of people who are granted, let's maybe draw the scenario that granted look that prior to the police moving on,
There were some skirmishes also.
there were protests.
Yes.
Now, but the police arrived on the scene, and the police saw a certain lawmaker speaking to his people. They were calm. Nobody was there throwing stones. They were calm when the police was speaking to them. In fact, you could hear them saying, "Oh yes," and the lawmaker was telling them, "We'll use the code of law to arrest this situation. Nobody will take the land from you." They were calm. They were gathered around the people. Police went in, and you heard sounds of. Do you think that approach was appropriate?
I just said, you and I did not see. Actually, have the opportunity to see the beginning of what was happening to even anticipated the police coming on the scene.
But the video showed
However, the video showed the point in which the lawmaker was speaking.
I don't want to sing the tablet.
Why were you
I don't want to sing the
I'm
tablet.
not taking that the tablet. I'm thinking for myself.
We're speaking for the video. It's not a picture. It's a video. The video showed that the people were gathered around the lawmaker.
That's why I said that's where the video started from, when the lawmaker was speaking, right?
And the police went in with the tear gas. The question I'm still asking, was that approach, especially having seen a certain lawmaker standing on the scene?
What?
No, I can't, comrade.
Go ahead.
I know I will come with my own commentary on that. A certain lawmaker standing on the scene, being swamped by his people. Don't you think it would have been appropriate if police had said, "Okay, these people are just, standing with the lawmaker, and the lawmaker is talking with them. Let's halt, gentlemen, and see what's going to happen." Don't you think that would have been appropriate?
I do not support the use of SS force against unarmed civilians, whether we like it or not, whether it's the use of tear gas, whether it's the use of rubber bullet. But what I'm saying here, right, whatever actions that were done by the police will be investigated or can be investigated by the police. If those people were actually peacefully standing around their lawmaker, there was no skirmishes, there was no exchange, there was no rag being thrown, and the police used SS force, I think it should be investigated. I don't see that as being appropriate, because from the video that you and I saw, it shows that they were very peaceful. They were listening to their lawmaker. Like I said, we did not see what happened prior to the lawmaker arriving on the scene. That could have anticipated the response from the police, or that could have even anticipated the call for a backup for wherever they came from. However, when the police arrived on the scene and saw a sitting lawmaker talking with his people, and it was, at that point in time, it was peaceful, the police would have used different means. Maybe call the lawmaker, have a discussion with him. Can you take the people from the street? They are causing, nuisance or so. That would have been the right way to go. But like I said, something they have anticipated, the police coming on the scene to maybe use the force that they used, but I do not support the use of that force, because at that point in time, when the force were used, the people were very peaceful. They were all around their law maker, and when he spoke, they even clapped.
Okay, let me go here.
Yeah.
Dave, let's go into, because it's established, the lawyer has established that using force on peaceful civilians, it's inappropriate, especially when they're armless. Even let's assume the police had heard about a protest, but the fact that they arrived on the scene and saw a certain lawmaker. Look, the reason why we say these things when they happen is because at the end of the day, I'm coming. Yes, I'll come to you. Okay. It's because I'm giving my position on the approach before we go into the allegations made. It's because when these things happen, at the end of the day, they are recorded. They are reflected in international reports. And what happens? All of us, we suffer the aftermath of the reactions of the international community. When they come out and say, police brutal, police did this, I think you've seen bulk of the reports that have been coming up, bulk of the U.S. Human Rights Report. These things are reflected. And when they are reflected, at the end of the day, there are consequences. Aids that's supposed to come, they don't come. Because people don't feel comfortable. They don't feel comfortable. At the end of the day, you and I, we suffer it. That's the reason why this is happening. Let us speak our mind. It's not about being an apologist. All of us here, we are apologists. We all support the administration. But if something went wrong, let's talk about it. Let's help old man Joseph Walker, who is our president. And not to say, oh, because I'm a Unity Party apologist, I'm not going to talk about that. No. Because at the end of the day, your children's children will suffer the aftermath. They will suffer it. These things, sometimes they are the reason for which we don't receive aid that way. And when your country is reflected in international reports, it's bad for you. That's the reason why we are talking what we are talking. Now, let's go to the aspect of the allegations made by Safoko.
Look, Sabo, you want me to talk specifically about Safoko, but I'd like to begin from the issue of the tear gas.
No,
I want to conclude on
that.
No,
we've concluded on that.
I want to get my concluding.
You didn't have enough contribution.
No, Sabo.
Your colleague already said something like that.
Sabo,
there's no need of us going back.
No,
okay,
Sabo,
go ahead.
Sabo, you know,
go ahead.
I'd like to broaden my analysis. I'd like to broaden my analysis. The first thing is that I would establish that, let's agree that police fire tear gas. As far as you know, every story has two sides. You said the police fire tear gas. Let's assume that the police.
No, now you said.
No.
You saw
okay,
video.
Let's assume that the police fire tear gas. Were they authorized to fire the tear gas by the high command? Or were there some unscrupulous police officers who unguidedly fired tear gas? Is the police somewhere investigating that incident? We have to ask all the questions before we reach a conclusion. There's a possibility that some unscrupulous guys in the police must have fired tear gas. That was
so let me answer your question now. Let me answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why immediately we saw the video, we established contact with the spokesperson of the Liberia National Police. I said it earlier, right, Edwin? I said we contacted him. And the first time we called, he didn't answer. The second time, he didn't answer. Later on, he answered his call. And we're asking these questions. He said, well, we can't respond now. We're trying to put a statement together. That statement will be released before your program time. As you speak, there's no statement. I've been looking on the social media. We have not seen any statement. I just texted him again. He has not responded. So all those questions that you are asking, yes, it is the police that's supposed to respond to us, that the police will also answer. Why did the men, having seen group of people, armless people, and they sought to fire tear gas? They're supposed to answer the question.
Okay, let me look at
the allegations now.
The allegations of Safoko.
Because we'll be opening the lines. Our listeners, I know you want to contribute. We'll be opening the lines very shortly.
We have to be very mindful of politicians seeking political relevance. We have to be mindful of that at the detriment of the entire country. I mean, because somebody wants to be this, I mean, they create scenes to gain relevance, to become popular, for the people to think that, yes, he loves us, he's fighting for us, and then at the end of the day, you instigate violence or tension in the country. I mean, he made a wild allegation about Gregory Coleman, wanting to kill him or shoot at him. These are allegations that, that must be substantiated. It's not about a politician running around the place and seeking relevance, wanting to retain the position in the Liberian legislature and just saying things, making wild allegations that at the end of the day, he may not be able to prove. If it's a somebody, why would Derek Coleman want to shoot Safoko to kill him? You know, so you're creating the kind of things that have the tendency of creating tension in the country. That security forces are going after opposition politicians. Is that the impression he's creating? Is Safoko creating? Is Safoko talking the truth? Is he able to substantiate the claims he's making? Then what's the logic? What's the reason now? What does Gregory Coleman want from Safoko to go after him, to want to kill him? Let's look at it critically now. So it's not a matter of just because you see microphones, you see journalists or people calling themselves journalists, and you speak to them unguidedly, you make sweeping statements or allegations that you may not likely.
Okay, all right. So you don't believe what he said?
That's
Okay,
absolutely wrong.
let's hear from you, Edwin.
Yes. So allegations are not facts. So anybody can claim that this person want to do XYZ until you can provide the facts with the evidence, and then people even take it serious. But let me say this: there's some issues that he spoke about ownership of the property of the land, that it belongs to the community. Ownership to a property is based on title. It's not just on because you say the people living on the land belongs to them. No. Does the community has a deed to show ownership to that land?
Surely.
Who gave it to them? Because if you say it's a community land, it means that it was conveyed to them by maybe their ancestors, and then that deed has passed through the various processes and their records to that. Let us not politicize everything. That whole Rotterdam belt, the couple of those areas that you can tell that due to the construction of the airstrip in that area, it completely became inhabitable for the population. There's nowhere in the world you have an airstrip and there right next door you have houses lined along the airstrip. And government comes and say, although we want to open a road here to detour, and people come up and say, we own that property, we own the land. And the lawmaker comes there and says, no, the land belongs to the community, without breaking any proof, without breaking any title.
No, but you heard him saying that he will use the law.
He said he will use the law.
Fine.
Now, using the law is one thing, but going to the law with the evidence, because the law is not just you're going to go talking about.
Do you think you're going to
Bring the
court?
deed.
And do you think Safoko will go to court without any evidence?
Let me tell you what he might go to court on. There's something in the law called adverse possession, right? Meaning that the people have lived. His argument could be the people have lived on the land for a statutory period. And government have seen this, previous governments have come, and so automatically the land belongs to them.
Okay.
No, but that's not going to work, because if it's a public land, the government can decide to use the land at any given point in time. My thing is that, as a lawmaker, if you want to de-escalate these kind of things, it is not for you to be having popular press conference and calling people around. Look, engage the government in a professional way. We've seen these things happen in other districts where lawmakers wrote to the leadership of the legislature and said, these are the problems that we're facing, and let's see how best we can solve it. I saw the one that happened in, how do you call the place? Seatown, and there was one, I think, in Priscilla Cooper district. There was one that even happened to even one of the lawmaker whose school, I think, in Cleveland was broken down. Because, like I said, ownership to a property, that's title, that's deed. That's not, you're feeling that, because my grandfather was living on the land and I built a house there, so the land belongs to me. No. If you don't have title to it, it means that property either belongs to the state, or you are in the alley, or you are giving some kind of a squatter's right to go and sit on it, and at the given point in time, if government were not ready to use that property now and government is ready, you have to move. Okay. There are ways that you can discuss these things, because you're in government with national government, to see the need as to how you can assist these people, because government will be wanting them homeless. So what can we do as national leaders? And you all sit there. The budget come to you guys. One of their colleagues just accused them, the leadership, of taking $200,000 to go up for a 2 or 3 day trip. If you take that $200,000, maybe there are about 50 family heirs in there. It gave each other maybe $2,000 each. Say, you know what, you go pay your rent somewhere and let's see how best we can get to this. It shows representation. It needs no confrontation to come and start fighting us. So they're the ones who's sitting there playing with all the money.
Okay, gentlemen, let's go into the matter and more deeper. Yes, Tagba, you said it clear that it's possible the fact that Safoko is a politician, he could be coming up with those wildcat allegations because he wants to demonize the police force, granted, or the IG. And yes, one could look at it that way. But again, the reason why Safoko apparently made the allegations of a threat to his life, because maybe, like I say again, maybe because of the way the approach of the police was done, standing with his people, and a group of officers rush on them, tear gas in them. He feels maybe it was an attempt at him, at his life. And so you might have put it that way, that maybe the fact that the police came in this way, they were on instruction to have eliminated me. Don't you see it that way, that way?
You know, Sabo, I commend you for the efforts you've made thus far to have contacted the spokesperson of the Liberal National Police. And I think you should remain unwavering on that in pursuing him to speak on
Which will be, yeah, sure.
to speak on the matter. Because as I'm concerned, the police authorities haven't spoken on this matter. What did happen over there? Yes, there's a video. There's a grave allegation against the Liberal National Police. So that means the police must take up time to speak on that. I mean, to clear his name as to, or to explain to the Liberian people as to what must have happened. Rototan, who authorized the issue of tear gas? What provoked it? If I thought it was provoked, who did it? Who did authorize? And I mean, these are questions the police should look into, because I mean, a politician coming up to make the kind of allegations against the Liberian National Police, it borders on the reputation, the credibility of the Liberian National Police. That the police is brutal, the police is indisciplined, the police is unprofessional. He just drive his personnel somewhere and jump off the pickup and start firing tear gas. That is absolutely unbelievable until it can be proven beyond reasonable doubt that the police just did that all of a sudden without being authorized or without any reason to have done that. And the other thing about the Safoko's claim, then the question is, if Gregory Coleman wants to eliminate Safoko, what's the reason? Does Safoko want to become the next Inspector General of the Liberal National Police? What does Gregory Coleman want from Safoko? And Safoko, and Edwin mentioned that you are an official of government, a member of the first branch of government. You have a reservation of whatever the French government must have used in terms of breaking down homes in Rotterdam. And as a lawmaker, a responsible and mature lawmaker that would expect him to be, and all lawmakers to be, because they're members of the first branch of government, use the best way possible, follow the professional procedures in seeking redress from the executive mansion or your colleagues. Some of your colleagues, what went wrong in Rotterdam? Why did government break down homes? What made the government to break down those homes. Does government have a plan for that area? Is that area actually for government, or is it for the Rototown people as being claimed? Look, so all these issues have to be looked into before we render judgment. The fact of the matter is that these people are politicians, and what they cared about is their interest, and don't care about the country being plunged in crisis, the country being plunged in violence. What they know is that their expectations should be met.
All right, that's what they're talking
Their
about.
expectations should be met.
That's what they're talking about. Again, similar question for you. Do you think maybe because of the way the approach of the police went, maybe you start thinking that it was a calculated strategy to have eliminated him?
So first of all, Sir Foko was not the only person in that group that the tear gas was fired at. So definitely he can use that as a catalyst to his allegations. I can't fathom for any reasons why he thinks that Gregory Coleman, the police inspector general, is after his life, except where maybe there's something deeper that he needs to tell the Liberian people that we don't know about. But based on all of the facts and circumstances that he has produced about police going to his home to arrest him one time and saying that, they were after his life, those things are not, I don't see any iota of truth in it, because Gregory Coleman is not ready to be represented for District 9, or equally so he's Foko. I don't know whether he wants to be the next police director, like David Redley said. Look, when you have positions in a country, basically when you work in the first branch of government, there are things that you say that you have to be very careful as to how you say it. Today, they're all going after their colleagues, Honorable Yeke Koluba, for making a reckless statement. When you come out to accuse the Inspector General of the police of wanting to take your life, you have to be able to prove it, because that's an allegation against his person. He's a professional person. He's been in the police. This is not his first time serving as police director. Secondly, you have channels. You have leadership in the legislature. If you believe for any reasons that you've been disrespected by a member of the executive, you could put it on plenary. If you feel that your life has been threatened, you could put it to the office of the speaker and they put on the agenda. The police director will be called in to come to plenary and ask, what is the issue between you and Representative XYZ? And he will be able to explain. But you go and sit behind your desk on the microphone and say this person is after your life, they want to take your life, for what reasons? Is it you that tried to provoke him, or you think that because you're in opposition, so you want to be now the biggest voice in the country because the other people seem to be silent? That's not how you play politics. We all want to have some level of semblance of peace in our country. We don't want to be having these images wherein you're trying to mobilize your base to come on the street to go against the police. You referring to the police as partisan police and calling Gregory Coleman names also. Those things are not called for. I think he needs to use the position and the office rightly, and then let's try to lower the tension, because I believe also from that video that you show, his presence in there maybe could have even fueled the tension that he wants to prove that he has the authority that he could do XYZ.
Okay, so there. Again, let Tagwell challenge us. We'll continue to get in touch with the police, which is quite necessary. The police needs to speak. The reason why, again, sometimes when these things come up, we tend to be very, vocal, is because they at the end of the day, if we don't handle them the way we're supposed to handle them as a country, they are reflected in reports that people who we go to for aid, those people, when they see the reports, they don't help us anymore. At the end of the day, it affects the population. It affects all of us. So hoping that we'll do things properly. I can remember the last human rights report. Again, the police was flagged, and we just need to be more nationalistic to do things the appropriate way. Follow the Constitution, so that we don't make ourselves enemies. to the eyes of the other people. And because Liberia is not an island, we're still looking for international support. All of the major projects that are in the offing, they can come online except I will talk about electricity. We want to build dime, all of that. How do we get the money? We can raise that type of money. We got to still knock the doors of the international community. But there are benchmarks in getting the goodwill of those people. There are benchmarks. That is, to function appropriately in line with the constitution of the country.
Somebody they said, look, I remember when we were boys and we used to hear about legislators. I mean,
that man.
What's happening now? They were nowhere around. We see lawmakers just speaking uncontrollably, making allegations, and sometimes reducing that body to a low-key government branch of government. Look, that's why I agree with people who say the Congo boys should come to power. The Congo boys should come back to power. Because look, Sabah, from Tabo, when Tabo is our generation of president, Sabah, you agree with me that Tabo is our generation of president. We didn't know about Totma, we didn't see him. Tabo is our generation of president. I mean, some Liberians get up one day and eliminated him and destroy the lives of all the very important citizens of the country. The fact that they were the American Liberians. Now the country boys took over they were led by Dole. And when they came to power, their behavior, their attitude, their style of administration, their style of governance were totally far apart from how the American Liberians ran this country. On a serious note, some of these things, behaviors and things we're hearing about, we never heard about them. That time, those people were respected with all the challenges and shortcomings they had. Who told you they were angels and never had differences? They had differences. Well, how did they handle the differences? What's important? Well, here we are. In a new dispensation. I mean, since the war, and we transitioned to the issue of, countrymen, Kitabo, now countrymen has taken power since that time. At that time, no legislator or group of legislators will put a Capitol building on fire. They were not even thinking that direction. But who did it? The so-called traditional Liberians. Country boys. They are the ones that set the Capitol building that those Congo boys are American Liberian guys wouldn't have done. And they never did or thought on doing. But the guys came to power to change the whole thing. Now you have people getting up, lawmakers who sort of be leaders, who sort of be leading that example and, by their utterances. And they just get up and talk one day. The only one is that because they want to become this, the whole country must burn. Because you want your ambition, that's absolutely wrong. And these are the things we should be discussing.
We'll make that a discussion.
Yes.
And I think very shortly I'll open the lines and let me get the phone numbers quickly. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793 or 0886-050-507, 0886-050-507, or the alternative line 0776-540-987. Okay, I think Cody wants to contribute. Sandy, let's hear from you, Moses.
Hello, sir. I just step. I listen to you guys briefly. I just want to say something to my brother David that way. And does he understand that the situation at the capital, that matter is in court?
It's in court. It's sub
Edwin is
judice.
sitting over there.
Sub judice. You can't discuss it.
Edwin, our brother, the lawyer. will you please tell Mr. Tagbet to start undermining the legal process?
Coming to me, he started a war.
When Tagbet says that place was set on fire by country people, how can he prove that? Mr. Tagbet, you are a journalist. Where did this come from, my brother? Will you please explain to the people of Liberia, how did you come to the conclusion that what happened at the Capitol in 2025 was the doing of lawmakers? Can you please tell our people?
No, Mr. Sunday, he can't go into it because the case is before the court.
Yeah.
He cannot go into it because that case is an active case before the court. So under the law is sub judice, you can't discuss it.
No,
He made a claim.
no.
He
The
said,
first thing,
that
no,
was the
Samuel
action of
and
country people.
Moses, I can
The
defend.
man made a claim.
It's-
Let him support his claim.
No, Moses.
Our brother
You
family
know-
is sitting over
you
there.
know-
The
you
man
know,
made a claim. Let
Moses.
him support his claim.
Look, Moses, when it comes this kind of when it
The
comes,
message are
the
allegations.
first thing is that when it comes to the kind of intellectual discourses, I think I'm well prepared and don't have to be intimidated by these kind of positions you've always taken. The first thing is that who dominate the legislature? What are their backgrounds? What are their backgrounds? Majority count them all. What are their backgrounds?
No, but
I mean,
David,
you know, I mean, if I say country,
You know,
people, they are the ones dominating the
Dave,
legislature.
I'm coming, Moses, Edwin.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into that tonight. And if we're discussing this, we're going to look at the style, the value system those people had at the time.
Yeah.
The Congo boys.
That's what I'm
the
talking
country
about.
boys. And of course, we're going to do a comparison.
And some of the sisters in
And
Delaware and say, I shouldn't say
I'm
that.
coming, Moses. I'm coming. No, we're not
No,
going to
no,
go
no,
into
no, he's
the
just saying that
allegation
you don't have
aspect.
to say
No,
that.
we're not going to go into it.
what he's saying
aspect
that
of the
the
case.
matter is before the court,
Because I'm married
so
to the
you
court.
cannot pass a decision to say that it was
But
the people.
we'll talk about how those days the guys governed.
And I have a
We'll
different,
talk about-
I have a different perspective
we'll
to
talk
that.
about it maybe tomorrow. We'll do
Maybe
a
you guys
discussion.
like it, but I didn't like
we'll,
it.
we'll talk about a
And I
different
will tell you
discussion.
why.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll take 30 minutes or 40 minutes to talk about that. And we'll be looking at vis-a-vis the leadership of former President Sirleaf, the governance of George Weah, the governance of Joseph Boakai today. We're going to look at all of that when we're having a discussion. What are at the time, what are the people who consider themselves the American Liberians, what are they? They've been governing well than the country boys.
They never
But
governed
like
well.
that Bible said, they all wanted, state power. They said, oh, we've been marginalized. We've been discriminated against. And they got state power.
What did the Congo
See,
people?
why did they lead us?
What did the
But we'll
Congo
talk about that.
govern well?
Now. I agree with that.
We'll
We'll
talk
talk,
about
let's
that.
try to open the lines quickly.
Did the Congo govern well?
0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793.
They let
Just
us
a few
continue
minutes.
where it is
Or
today.
086-05-0507. We've been talking about whether our 2029 electoral credibility is really on scrutiny or not. We talk about that, the issue with the police firing tear gas at the residents of Roto Town, especially when the residents were meeting their lawmakers in a gathering. We talk about that. You can put your calls quickly to 0778-460-793. We'll take your calls for a few minutes. 0778-460-793. Or better still, 086 rather, 050507. Again, 0886-050507. Or the alternative line, 0776-540-987. That's the numbers to call. And of course, we're going to be live on the nighttime heat tonight. We are streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. We are also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Again, 0778-460-793. 0778-460-793 or 0886-050507. 0507. Again, 0886 050507 or 0776 540 987. That's the numbers to call and to alive on the nighttime heat. Let's take this caller quickly. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Samuel. How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir.
So, I'm Jerry Pluto. I come from Kingston.
Let's hear from you, Jerry.
The electoral process, our electoral system is extremely good. And the real problem of this country have been the journalists. As Bishop Michael Bakala Francis in 2003, when he addressed Librarian in Washington, D.C., he emphasized on that.
Hello? He gone very low. 0778 460 793 or 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. That's the numbers to call. And of course, we are live on the program. Let's see this caller. Good evening. Hello. Yes, how you doing? 0778 460 793. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Tommy. I'm calling from Mr. Putin.
Okay.
I'm talking about country. You know, Congo for us. Do you know I'm gonna speak the country for one? Sending by the speaker, you know, in the body of the Congo people for the way rest is you. But he's talking about the Congo people were ruling. That ruling was not good. There was a person, a bunch of people.
No, hello. Hello. Okay, thank you. You made a point. We are not discussing, I don't think that's part of our discussion tonight. We've been discussing the issue of the appointment of Mr. Jonathan Widow, whether it's a very good pick. We've been talking about the police firing tear gas at Rototown. Those are discussions we've been having. It's not about the Concord and Concord. Hello? Yeah, how you doing?
Thank you, Charo. Let me say good evening to all of the panelists.
Okay.
This way, would cover in a journalist conversation for this city as a member of the United Party in the electoral bureau. And let me appreciate all of you for this very key point. So I think let me begin with the appointment of Jonathan Widow. First, let me appreciate the president for making sure that this has this decision and the decision that is in the best interest of our democracy. No, but I hear people saying, oh, the man was a part of the Unity Party. So at no point in time, Jonathan Widow have ever filled in a form or a legitimate member of the United Party. No. Jonathan Widow was hired as a consultant during the 2023 election for the Unity Party to do a piece of job. And yes, indeed, he and Jim Chomrian. So I see no reason for people to say, oh, because he worked for the Unity Party, it means he should not have been appointed as chair. And the same people who pushing this law were the same people that appointed David, who contested on the CDC ticket in 2014 in Riverside County. But at that time, they didn't see anything wrong with it. Oh yes, but I now know that when you flip your political role prior to your appointment, you should be denied of a constitutional authority to work for your country. And for us, we're not part of that argument. Unless, again, look at the commissioner. There is no law that says the commissioner cannot vote. In fact, the law gives them the right to register a vote. So if you think some of those people have the right to vote, do you think they are independent? Do you think they are neutral? No, they have their side. But I think what the law says, just why you are emo, you get your side, but your side cannot be public for everybody to know. Do it secretly. There's no strategy in this particular thing. When I hear journalists are neutral, no, journalists can register, they can vote, they are not neutral. They are political species. They have
Okay. All right.
Political politics. So I think the issue about Foucault, look, for me, I see no wrong with the police. That's exact. You are honorable, you should behave honorable. But many times we hear these people make insultful statements. We make sentences to be insultful against one officer. Watch the video. Who was the fight? It was our reference Foucault who started throwing rocks at the police. Who is in a robot wearing the uniform.
Okay. All right. You made your point. You made your point. You are coming broken. We make a point. Let's take additional calls quickly. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793 or 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. We have few minutes to call it a quit. Let's hear from you quickly. Your opinion, your views on the issues we're discussing tonight. Good evening.
Evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for the talking point tonight. And for me, my name is Shaka.
Okay.
And all this road and this friend that are coming to me, for me, I should be on it. They really just come on. People point doing the king is doing on the former speaker compass. Was surprised to hear that executive the majority were up on the first part the constitution when Supreme Court came out to say that but executive said they were going to make business with the majority. So as for me, all the rock and roll are happening today, everything derived from the executive. That's my view.
Okay, many thanks. 0778 460 793 or 0886 050507. Good evening. Hello? It seems this caller is gone. Let's take this other caller on this line quickly. Good evening.
Good evening, Big Brother Samuel George. How are you doing this evening?
I'm okay, sir. Your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Jean Tonia Conde, and I'm calling from Central Monrovia.
Let's hear from you, Jean.
Yes, thank you for the topic on the discussion, and I want to say big thank you to the President of the Republic of Liberia, in wisdom, President Joseph Mafaka, for appointing such a very experienced, hardworking, and understandable person when it comes to election, not only in Liberia, but Africa, Jonathan Williams. He has the capability, the capacity, and can contain any form of pressure when it comes to election working in Africa, not even Liberia. So I challenge those situations. You know, the president is appointed CDC because he recommended Krab Maruia, and because the president had the appointing power, he was disappointed. So he appointed an experienced man who understands the job, who is bringing not seeing Liberia for a certain group of people, but Liberia for Liberia, whose decision will be based on merits, on facts. Nowhere in the world, General Wheeler will be compromised. And I challenge any citizen from George Weah to the leave me to prove where and when General Wheeler is member of the Unity Party. I challenge him. General Wheeler was contracted to do a piece of job, and based on that experience in get for the Unity Party, he proved that he understands the job, and he served in this capacity before similarly. So why not give you the opportunity? I see people flying around here. Let's see what is Senate, what is Lord I see in the court. General Wheeler work for the Unity Party on the contract of the chairman of the National Executive Committee. I challenge that the Senate in that wisdom will critique General Wheeler on the basis of his capital, his capability and capacity. And through that, I'm confident, 100% confident in the check and take the bank that Mr. General Wheeler will be confirmed.
Okay, many thanks. Let's get another call on the line quickly. 25 minutes after 10 o'clock. Good evening.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, so I think it doesn't matter, and president says it all. For instance, the current co-chair of the next Councilor P.T. Paris in 2014 senator on the CDC ticket. 6 years after that election, in 2020, appointed the co-chair of the Police Commission, President George Weah. And a commissioner, whether active or neutral, who have the power to reverse the decision. Then, of course, perhaps a counter risk will reverse, the decision to declare the party the winner, and maybe this is the winner. So I think it doesn't matter. What matters most is Liberia, is moving ahead democratically.
Okay.
It's like between Liberia and Nigeria to say, okay, well, if it's for Nigeria, so even if you are commissioner or chairman of the NEC, Nigeria will win or Liberia. Anybody who is declared winner, that person is a Liberian, and that person only comes to Liberia. So I want to say thanks to the president. We just pray and hope that the Senate will confirm him.
Okay, all right, we'll take on one more.
Issue in Odota. I think lawmakers will have a sense of national responsibility. For instance, if a lawmaker says to his constituents having a crucial is around, he should be able to tell the remain very low about it, very calm, and not engage the police in a violent way because the destroy the power of the use of force in the serious force against citizens. Being a national leader should have a sense of of responsibility or a sense of caution to say, people, remain calm. I'm here. Whatever the police has come to do, we'll deal with it. Like that, you have calmed the situation. But the citizens, you sit there and they react, and you come down to, you come back, to create a position, thinking that the police, the triple on your right, they try to assassinate you or kill you. Then, of country, we have to be very cautious.
Okay, many thanks. Many thanks. Let's take a last caller quickly, and then we can call it a quit. 0778-460-793, or better still, let's take this caller. Good evening. Hello? Yes, sir.
Yes, so I'm Jerome again. So, like I was saying, you, the journalists and the media, are the real problem of this country. As it was stated in 2003 by Archbishop Francis, you guys present an image of the country to look at, for you to as a terrified in this country, the media. So, are you going to take somebody from heaven, Jesus Christ, to be election commission, who will not vote in election, or even you on the radio? Have you not voted for any individual? Hello?
Yes, we're live. Go ahead.
Yes. Have any of you have not voted in election to vote for a party?
They may go off again.
Well, you're going off again. I don't know what's happening to your phone. Let me take parting comments from my colleagues quickly so that we can call it a quit. Dave?
It will always be a nice one, Saba. The heat will always be on, and even go beyond. That's an interesting discussion. And there are certain elements on the show when they're not here, you don't feel the heat. And that's what I like those elements to be at, particularly Moses Sandy. I like him to be on the show.
Because he's always attacking you. Right?
No, not a matter of attacking. He's very intellectual. I like that. I enjoy him.
Okay, let's leave it.
That's a good point.
Edwin,
that makes the show interesting.
Well, yes. It was a nice show, but let me say this. I think few of the callers said, look, the election system that we adopted in Liberia, it was borrowed from Ghana. That process itself makes it very difficult for any single persons to actually change anything on the results. As we speak today, the current elections commission that we have, I can name you a couple of people who are seditious. One of the guys, I think Floyd, he was accused around here as being, a very good friend to President Weah and a very strong member of the CDC. Why would you say that? But again, let's believe in this process. Let's follow this process. We know the individual, and like everybody have said, when it comes to his competent to do the job, he has it.
Okay.
So I think the legislature, through the Liberian Senate, should confirm him, and then he start early preparation for the 2029 process. In as much as we years away from it, 3 years away from it, but I think he will be able to deliver a credible results guided by international standards.
Okay. Thank you very much, Edwin. And let me say thanks to Moses, who was here earlier. Let me recognize some of our viewers, not all of them. Time has cut off us. Imaya Bro, you've been watching from the USA. Siliki Trawari, he didn't say from where you've been watching. Ophelia S. George, she's been watching from home. Man Tonian Son, you've been watching from Broville. Emmett Hammond from Cap City. Joseph B. Koyon, didn't say from where. Abraham Lien, didn't say from where. And the rest of them, we keep all of you. Join us tomorrow for another fascinating edition of the program. You know, this program is called the Nighttime Heat. And of course, we develop the heat, you know, from our views and issues that we discuss on the program. If all goes well, we may likely have tomorrow as a guest the former managing director of the National Port Authority, Madam Pike. Will be here as our guest, and of course, we're going to look at some major discussions. Until then, have a pleasant and restful night.